Good morning, Hive. This morning we're going to be talking about context clues, and we have done context clues before, if you remember. Context clues is when we try to look at other words in the sentences that follow before or after to try to determine the meaning of the word that's in bold or the word that we do not understand. So if you remember at all, we have done this before in our practice book, and we're going to just do it kind of as a review today to make sure you kind of remember how to do it. All right, so we're going to find a word in a sentence, and then we're going to look at the words around it, either before or after it, to try to figure out what that word means. Most of the time they're words after it, like a sentence that follows that give us the clues, but sometimes they're before. Most of the time it's after. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing today. Here we go. All right, so the first word they want us to find is reflecting. All right, so we're going to try to figure out what reflecting means. People used to believe the lights were caused by sunlight reflecting off polar ice caps. The theory was that when the light bounced back from the caps, it created patterns in the sky. Okay, so I see reflecting here, and I have to figure out, here's the next sentence. The theory was that when the light bounced back from the caps, it created patterns in the sky. Well, I know a little bit about reflecting. I know that when we look in the mirror, we see our reflections. So reflecting kind of has to do with something coming, your own image coming back to you. So I'm going to come over here with my highlighter, and I'm going to say, well, I know that reflecting, I don't think it's a theory, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the theory was that maybe that the light bounced back. So maybe a reflection is light bouncing back, or maybe it's creating patterns. Maybe when something is reflecting, it's creating patterns. Okay, and we know from this program when we do these little things that it always ends up telling us, because here, see how it says click the arrow to continue? Let's see how that goes. Oh, context clues. Your context clues, look, they even get rid of my highlighter. Light bounced back. So then they tell you it must be light being thrown back. Okay, so we were pretty close. Next one. Now right away they would say, oh, now it's your turn. And we're going to do this together. So the first one that they want us to find in this little passage is the word particles. Particles. The sun constantly gives off a stream of electrically charged particles in every direction. Part. Even when I hear part, I think of something tiny. Okay, so these nearly invisible pieces of matter join into a stream called the solar wind. So right here it says, a stream of electrically charged particles in every direction. These what? These, it's almost like you know it's setting you up to tell you what these particles are, right? The charged particles, these what? These nearly invisible pieces of matter, right? So I'm going to go ahead and mark, I think it means that particles are nearly invisible pieces of matter. I know that you guys know I like to use the highlighter. Even though I'm horrible with it, I use it like a spray paint can all over the place. That's okay. Good on. Now you could think, oh, maybe it's the stream, or maybe it's a solar wind, right? But I'm going with invisible pieces of matter because it right away says, right, they are the electrically charged particles in every direction. These, and it's telling you right there, these things, like these things we're talking about. And so I know that this has to be the thing they're talking about because it tells you these things. So I'm going to put right here, I come back to text because I don't want to highlight. And I'm going to put, this is where you then make your guess. I'm going to say, I could say little tiny pieces of matter. I'm just going to say invisible pieces of matter. I could say nearly, but I don't have to use all of their words. Invisible matter. I could say invisible pieces. That's all I have to put. Next, mixture. Now, sometimes you're going to get to a page or to a sentence where you're like, I just don't see anything that matches. I don't see anything that's helping me figure out what this word means. This is a sample just like that. Because when I look at this one, I'm like, I do not see anything in the sentence after or before that really helps me know what the word mixture means. Let's see. Today's comets are less scary and mysterious because we know that they are a mixture of rock, dust, ice, and frozen gases that orbit the sun. Well, I happen to know and have some background knowledge of what a mixture is. I've mixed things myself. Some of you have mixed things. I've watched you mix things. But if I was trying to find the definition or the meaning of mixture, nothing here says, oh, you combine, or it's a combination of, or a putting together of. So I don't see anything here that tells me, but it does tell me what's in the mixture, right? So it tells me that there's rock, dust, ice, and frozen gases, and it tells me that those things all orbit the sun. Orbiting the sun has nothing to do with being a mixture. Being scary and mysterious has nothing to do with being a mixture. So I'm just going to say over here, I would just say, I'm going to click my text again. I over here would just say rock, gas, ice, and dust all mixed together. All together. Rock, ice, what was it? Rock, dust, ice. Rock, dust, ice, and gases. I don't have to write frozen. Oh, whoops. See what happens. Ice and gases all together. That's the combination here, the mixture they're talking about. And I put all together because I think that part's important. I think it's important that you add the all together because that's the part that tells me it's a mixture. Okay? And my last one is debris. This word looks like debris, but the word is debris. The S is kind of silent. It's more of a French word. Okay? So meteors are another name for the rocky debris and fragments that enter the Earth's atmosphere. This is nice because it's just one sentence, it's short and it's simple, but I can find something that lets me know what debris might be. Meteors are another name for the rocky debris and fragments that enter the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, well, another name for rocky debris and fragments. So I see the word rocky and fragments. I think that sounds good. So I think debris is just little rocky pieces. It's little rocky parts and pieces that make up a meteor. Okay, so here we'll come in and we'll say rocky fragments. Rocky fragments. Okay, well, if I was done here, I would save it to my binder, just like you guys always need to remember to. But today, your assignment is going to be to work on the actual practice book page like we usually do in class, right? In class, we usually walk through these together. You do them with me. And then we work on the practice book page together back in small group. So today, you have the practice book page assigned to you, and you should be able to write or type with the T text box right onto your page. If for any reason at all whatsoever you have a problem typing into it, someone needs to message me right away because I can send it to you a different way, like through a Google slide, that makes it so you each get your own copy, and it works really easily. But I've sent it to you through MCGraw Hill, so hopefully you guys can all just go ahead and write in it. Please make sure that you save it to your binder, and then just click submit or turn in when you're done. You still click the save button when you are done, but your save button is at the bottom of a worksheet. I today put 2 worksheets on there. The first one has like 6 problems. If you find that that's really hard, you have a second page that's an option. It's still a practice book page, but it only has 3 problems, and it has multiple choice for you to choose what you think the word meaning is, right? You choose whether or not you are going for the I can do it, or I just think I need a little more help still, okay? All right, good job. All done.